Hello dear viewers, a very warm welcome to our channel. It's very good to have you here. In this video, we are going to have a look at how you can make your gasoline engine run like new again. Bringing a gasoline engine back to its like new condition is a very satisfying process. While you can't reverse all physical wear, you can absolutely restore performance, responsiveness, and efficiency. Well, first start by diagnosis. Before you start, try to identify what not running like new means for your car. Is it rough idling? Is it lack of power? Is it poor fuel economy? Is it knocking or pinging? Or is it hard starting? Understanding the symptoms will help you focus your effort. If you have a serious mechanical issue like low compression, timing chain stretch, or internal engine damage, these steps will help, but they will not cure it. Now, begin from basic restoration. This is where 80% of people should start. These are standard maintenance items that have the biggest impact for the cost and effort. Well, look at the spark plugs and ignition wires or ignition coils. Why? Worn spark plug can cause misfire, rough idle, poor acceleration, and bad fuel economy. So they are the #1 culprit for a tired feeling engine. Replace with the exact type specified in your owner's manual. If your car has a traditional spark plug wires, replace them also. If it has a coil-on plug unit, inspect them for cracks and consider replacing if one is failing. And proceed to assessing the situation of the air filter. Why? A clogged air filter chokes the engine, preventing it from getting the air it needs for efficient combustion. This directly robs power and mileage. Now, in order to do this, just locate the air box, open it, and replace the filter. It's a 5-minute no-tool job on most cars. Then proceed to fuel system cleaning as well. Over time, injectors get clogged with varnish, disrupting the fine fuel spray pattern, and this leads to poor automation and incomplete combustion. Now, how can you clean the fuel system? You can use fuel injector cleaners. Add high-quality cleaner to near empty gas tank before you fill it up. This is a good preventive measure. You can also go ahead and have professional service. For more thorough cleaning, a mechanic can perform a fuel induction system that cleans the injectors, intake valves, and combustion chamber directly. You can also go ahead and do oil and filter change. This is very critical as well. Fresh, clean oil is the lifeblood of your engine. It reduces friction, cleans internal components, and helps with cooling. Never underestimate a fresh oil change. Use the viscosity and the specification recommended in your manual. Consider high-quality synthetic oil for better protection and cleaning. So these are some of the first things that you can do in order to restore your engine and make it run like new again. Well, if you plan to go beyond that, if you plan to have deep cleaning, then you can proceed to cleaning the mass airflow meter, the mass airflow sensor. This sensor tells the engine computer how much air is entering the engine. Dirty MAF sensor gives incorrect reading, leading to poor air-fuel ratio, rough running, and bad mileage as well. So, buy a dedicated MAF sensor cleaner, and then locate the sensor in the intake tube, carefully remove it, and spray the tiny wire or element inside. Then let it dry. You can simply leave it in air. It will completely dry. Then you can go ahead and reinstall it. And go ahead and clean the throttle body also. This will help you restore engine performance. Carbon buildup on the throttle blade prevents it from closing properly, causing rough, fluctuating idle and poor throttle response. In order to do that, disconnect the air intake tube, hold the throttle open, and spray a throttle body cleaner on rag or soft brittle brush to wipe away the black carbon junk from the inside of the throttle body and the blade. On some cars, this might require computer recalibration to relearn the procedure. And you can also do soap foam or top engine cleaning. This is a famous method for cleaning carbon deposit from the intake valves, pistons, and combustion chamber. How can it be done? You can introduce a cleaner like sea foam directly into the engine intake via a vacuum line to create a steam clean effect. Follow product instruction carefully and watch for online tutorials for your specific vehicle. It will produce a lot of smoke but can be very effective. There are also other steps that you can take in order to restore your engine performance. These steps address wear and tear that directly impact engine compression and efficiency. For example, check and adjust valve clearance. Over time, valve clearances can get too tight or too loose. Incorrect clearance affects power, fuel economy, and it can cause ticking noise as well. This is more advanced job. It requires removing the valve cover and using a feeler gauge to measure the gap between the camshaft and the valve lift or bucket. Adjustments vary by engine. Some use shims for adjusting, and some use a screw and lock nut to adjust valve clearance. And for more advanced engine performance evaluation, you can go ahead and perform compression test. This is the ultimate test for your engine's internal health. It measures the pressure each cylinder can generate. Low compression in one or more cylinders means worn piston ring, worn valves, not sealing valve, or head gasket issues. So, in order to do this, have a compression tester, then remove the spark plug and screw the tester into each spark plug hole one at a time while cranking the engine. Then compare the readings to your vehicle specification, and also don't forget to compare the reading to each other. One cylinder should not be very low or very much greater than the other cylinders. You can go ahead and replace PCV valve for improved engine performance as well. The positive crankcase ventilation valve is a cheap part that regulates pressure and removes blow-by gases from the crankcase. A stuck PCV valve can cause rough idle, oil leak, and sludge buildup. Usually a simple plug-and-play part, so locate it. It is often on the valve cover or intake manifold. Pull it out and replace it. The other thing you can do is a vacuum leak hunt. This is why your engine relies on a sealed intake system to precisely manage the air-fuel mixture. Vacuum leaks are the most common cause of high, fluctuating, or rough idle. Unmetered air sneers into the engine after the MAF sensor, confusing the engine computer. So, you can go ahead and do visual inspection. Look for cracks, brittle, or disconnected vacuum hoses. Pay special attention to PCV valve hoses and brake booster lines as well. You can also go ahead and do a smoke test. Best method for locating vacuum leaks. A machine introduces smoke into the intake. Any leak will reveal itself with a whiffs of smoke. And you can also do a propane test. With the engine idling, carefully and safely pass a small unlit propane torch nozzle near the vacuum lines and intake gasket. If the engine RPM changes, then you have found your leak. Other method of checking vacuum leak is using carb cleaner or starter fluid test. Similar to propane but very riskier, it's a fire hazard. A change in RPM when spraying a small amount on a suspected area indicates vacuum leak as well. You can go ahead and make thorough inspection of the fuel system in order to make sure that adequate fuel and properly being supplied to your engine. Weak fuel pump or clogged fuel filter can't supply the necessary pressure and volume, especially under load. For example, when you are accelerating on a highway, this feels like the engine is starving of fuel, and it can cause loss of high RPM power. So, check for fuel filter, for example. Replace it if it is serviceable item. Many modern cars have a lifetime filter in the fuel tank, but if it is a replaceable type, go ahead and replace it. It's a very cheap part. And you can also do fuel pressure test. Use a fuel pressure gauge from an auto parts store and connect it to the fuel rail and compare the reading at idle and with the vacuum line disconnected to your vehicle's specification. Don't forget to do a cooling system efficiency test as well. An engine runs best at a specific temperature. A faulty thermostat that's stuck open will keep the engine too cool, reducing efficiency and power. One that gets stuck in a closed position will cause engine overheating and severe damage. Old coolant becomes acidic and can corrode passage. So, flush and replace the coolant according to your manufacturer's schedule, not just when it looks dirty. Replace the thermostat if you have any reason to suspect it. This might restore your engine performance. Go ahead and do exhaust back pressure check. A clogged catalytic converter is like trying to breathe through a wet cloth. It creates excessive back pressure, choking the engine, causing massive loss of power and preventing it from reviving freely. Symptoms like lack of power, especially at high speed, and smell of rotten egg is an indication of a blocked catalytic converter. A mechanic can simply check the back pressure directly or use an infrared thermometer to see if the catalytic converter is heating up properly or not. And in some cases, it might be a problem with the ECU that cause the engine to run abnormally, or it might cause the engine to run roughly. So what can you do? Just go ahead and disconnect the battery to reset the ECU. The ECU is a learning computer. It adapts to your driving style and the engine's gradual wear. If you have made significant repairs like cleaning the throttle body or replacing sensor, the old adaptations are no longer valid. Resetting the ECU forces it to relearn from the clean state with new, cleaner components. How can you do that? Simply disconnect the negative battery terminal for 15 to 30 minutes, and you may need to reset your radio presets and power windows. When you reconnect, start the engine and let it idle for 10 to 15 minutes without touching the throttle to allow for idle relearn. And go ahead and do a throttle body relearn procedure as well. On drive-by-wire type, which are non-cable operated throttles, the ECU learns the closed and open positions of the throttle blade. After cleaning, these positions are slightly different. Without a relearn, the car may idle poorly or have a dead spot off the line. So, how can you make the throttle body relearn procedure? This varies widely by manufacturer. It can be as simple as a specific sequence of turning the key and waiting, or it may require a professional skill. Always look up the procedure for your specific vehicle on your engine service manual before cleaning the throttle body as well. No amount of cleaning or replacement part can fix catastrophic mechanical wear. If your engine has constantly low compression across multiple cylinders, if there is excessive blow-by, if there is a lot of smoke or oil vapor coming out of the oil filler cap when the engine is running, and if it has a persistent knocking or rattling from the bottom end where there is indicative of a road bearing or problematic valve train problems, this requires restoration. The engine ultimately needs a rebuild or replacement. If your engine is a direct injection type, in gasoline direct injection engine, fuel is sprayed directly into the cylinders, bypassing the intake valve. While this has benefits, it means fuel detergent never cleans the back of intake valve, and instead, oil vapor from the PVC system backs onto the hot valve, forming hard, crusty carbon deposit. This can cause the engine to run rough, especially at idle. It can make it to misfire, catastrophic loss of power, and excessive damage if the chuck breaks off. So, what can you do in order to prevent this? The solution is to have a blasting. The intake manifold is removed for this procedure, and media made from crushed shell can be blasted into the intake port, scoring the intake valve, and the debris then vacuumed out. Chemical soaks are also another alternative, and manual picking with tools through the spark plug hole or intake port is also another alternative, but this is very risky. It could be messy and less effective than blasting as well. The other thing that you can do in order to fully restore your engine to its new state is combustion chamber decarbonization. Carbon builds up on piston tops and the combustion chamber itself. This increases compression ratio, leading to pinging or knocking, and creates hot spots that can cause pre-ignition. So, what can you do? You can use a chemical soak, for example. Use chemicals that are produced for this specific need and introduce it directly into the combustion chamber through the spark plug hole. Let it soak, then vacuum it or crank it out. It's a little bit messy, but very effective method for decarbonizing the combustion chamber. The other method for decarbonizing the combustion chamber is water injection, a more advanced ongoing solution. A fine mist of water is injected into the intake. The water turns to steam during combustion, literally steam cleaning the piston and combustion chamber. This was a classic trick used on aircraft engines and is now available in aftermarket kits as well. You can go ahead and restore seals of your engine oil as well. And always remember, modern engines don't like short trips. This is the single worst thing for modern engines' long-term health. A short trip is any drive where the engine never reaches full operating temperature and stays there for a while. Why is short trip so difficult or so bad? Well, the first reason is fuel dilution. Unburned fuel washes parts of the piston ring and into the oil, thinning and reducing its lubricity. And water accumulation can also result. Combustion creates water vapor. When the engine never gets hot enough, this water doesn't evaporate. It mixes with oil to form sludge and with sulfur byproducts to form corrosive acids that eat bearings and internal surface. And carbon buildup can also result. The engine runs in a warm-up enrichment mode, which is a rich fuel mixture directly contributing to carbon issues and clogged exhaust gas recirculation system. So the antidote is, if your life is mostly short trips, you must change your oil more frequently than manual suggests. Once a week, take the car for a 30 to 45-minute highway drive to get it fully hot and burn off the crud. So these are some of the things that you can do in order to restore engine performance and make it act like new. Start simple. Change the oil filter, change the engine oil, spark plug, and air filter. This alone will make a world of difference. Then, if this doesn't fix, go ahead and clean the sensors. Clean the MAF sensor, for example, the throttle body. These are high impact, low cost steps. And if this doesn't fix the problem again, clean the fuel system. Use good fuel injector cleaners with your next tank of gas. And if this is not fixing the problem again, go ahead with diagnosing. If the problem persists, consider compression test to check the engine's mechanical health. And finally, address underlying issues. Fix any vacuum leak, replace old coolant, and ensure your ignition system, ignition coil, ignition wires, spark plugs are all in good shape. By following this approach, you will systematically eliminate the most common cause of poor engine performance and restore that smooth, powerful, like new feel. By following this comprehensive guide, you are not just throwing parts at the problem. You are methodically diagnosing and restoring every system that contributes to engine performance, which is the true secret of making it run like new again. Well, that is all we have for you in this video regarding how you can make some adjustments and very simple service operation to make your gasoline engine run like new again. If you find this video helpful and if you like what has been presented, please do smash the like button. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing, turn on notifications so that you'll be the first to get notified whenever we come up with another video. Until then, stay safe.